Here we go.
Okay.
Yo, what's happening, everybody? Westminster Variety ShYo, episode 58. Did I get it right, Kelly Ross?
Yeah, you got it.
Episode 58 with Allison and Cameron Dean. And as you can see there, if you're watching this live, you can see right now that I put that they are professional music travelers. They are professional music fan travelers.
I think I paid for that.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Yo, say what's up. Say hello.
What's up?
Bye, everybody.
Bye.
Thanks for coming to watch us be awkward.
Yeah, right. That's what we do here. So for a little quick background for anybody now or in the future, let's see. I'm going to try to get this right. I'm pretty sure that the first time I met y'all was at your going away party at Blonde in San Diego. Is that right?
I don't think that's true. I met you at the first West Coast Weekender.
Don't.
Yeah. Because I knew of you through Aaron Bailey, who I'm hoping is watching.
Yes, right.
Shout out to
EKB.
Yeah.
Love
so
you.
Aaron
Shout
was always
out.
like, yeah, Wes Smith is my homie. And so we came to your stage, or when you were playing at the very first West Coast Weekend, or I think that's when we first met you.
That is the first time.
But we didn't really connect.
Party foul.
God, no, it was crazy.
And then I ran into you a few times just out and about. You had one, was it not the Plump DJs? I can't remember. You had somebody with you that was playing at Kava Lounge one night.
Plump was supposed to come to ELF last year.
It was one of the duo of breaks DJs.
Oh, maybe like Stanton Warriors or something.
That's
like
what it was. Yeah, and Stanton Warrior.
One Warrior.
Stanton Warrior.
Yeah.
Well, I've been known to be spotted with a Stanton Warrior or a freestyler.
One freestyler.
Yeah, a funk hunter.
No, but you're right. And 1 5.
A Martin Horger.
1 5.
And 2 5s.
Okay, fine. Yes. So first West Coast Weekender, and then we definitely hung out more at your going away party, which was a combined effort for a. It was like a lot of things going on. Your going away party. It was DJ ShYo came down from San Francisco, and that was really one of the first dates that she and I did together for what was then going to become our Game On tour related to the video game project that I did. Yeah, we did that. That was a lot of fun. And then y'all moved to Seattle because that's what the going away party was for. You moved to Seattle, and then back down to West Coast Weekender, and then I just read your post tonight. It was kind of funny. I think Allison is one you wrote, and it was like, or maybe Cameron, and it was like getting out of your comfort zone to go to Electric Club Music Festival. So I hope I'm pretty sure that I was some level of influence in even telling you about the thing.
Yes. I'm actually excited to.
Had you not said something to her, that would have not happened.
No,
Gotcha.
I'd love to share that story. So
share it.
Oh no, you're right, Wes. It just so happened that as we were getting ready to leave Seattle, we were hoping that there would be something cool going on that we could make our going away party. And then voila, the Game On tour with you and Shui, which was probably one of the most fun nights I've ever had. I had so much freaking
Too much fun.
Oh my God. But the music was insane. That Blonde Bar with, that small venue with
it was just remodeled at that time.
Yeah. We couldn't have asked for something more fun. And we got up here to Seattle, and then very shortly after, you posted about the festival, and I'm thinking, okay, BC's pretty big. Let's just pull up this location. In my mind, thinking, it's probably super far. Like Shambhala is 8 hours away. And then, I pull up the location, and I'm like, 2.5 hours.
Yeah.
That's doable. And I'm looking at the other lineup, and I'm like, this looks really fun. And then at that time, it was probably already tier 3 tickets, which are still really reasonable for all of you out there that are listening or will watch this. Electric Love Music Festival is an extremely affordable festival with crazy setup and amazing lineup. It is probably one of the most affordable ones out there.
What was the ticket range? 150 to 250, I think, overall?
Yeah, our third tier this year was 150.
Yeah.
150 Canadian.
150 Canadian. Think about
right.
Yeah, sure.
Right. Good point.
$20 for parking for the camping.
Yeah.
Nothing.
No.
And it was awesome.
I was like, this looks pretty fun. Should we get tickets? And then, some Canadian kid, I wish I remembered your name, little Canadian kid, little shout out to you. He was shout out to a little Canadian kid. He was like, hey, I post. This is me posting, by the way, or him posting.
Yeah.
I've got tier 1 tickets. I can't go anymore. And I was like, excuse me, what? So we got 2 tickets for $90 American.
Right.
The first year. And I was like, clearly we're going. So that was that. And so Wes, you and Jenny were the only people we knew at that festival. And that's what I'm saying. Like we didn't know anyone. We'd never been to a camping festival before. You know,
really? I didn't know that. All right.
No, we've both been out. And so when you say professional, we're professional.
Yeah.
And
I'm saying both. You're professionals and you're traveling music fans.
Yeah. We've both been going out to electronic music nights for 20 plus years. You know what I mean? And so but that was our first camping festival. I've been to Coachella once years ago.
Did you camp at that one in the parking lot?
No, yeah. I stayed in someone's like really nice house. That didn't count. So I am like so grateful to you, Wes, for having posted it. And, you know, we had such an amazing experience. And that's like clearly this year we were like, hey, who else wants to come? And
who wants to go party with the Canadians?
Yeah.
Y'all made it happen too, man. I can't thank you enough. You rolled up like that's what's pro. You rolled up 10 deep.
You're like, oh, have you been to this every year? No, second year.
Yeah, like on short notice, you roll up like 10 deep with like a whole posse from San Diego and Seattle. So yeah, so next year, you know, it's gonna be awesome. Next year will be, you know, I'm stoked that was great, and it's always fun it's so fun to have like more people that you know. Like I obviously you know now a number of people there that live in Canada, but I definitely see you two more, you know, throughout the year. Or have more chances to for sure than I would most of them, you know, and so yeah, it's pretty awesome. And next year will be 5th year of the festival and 5th for me. I played all 4 of them, so that's pretty freaky. I don't know if y'all were down on the stage. It's just pretty cool. I talked to them a lot about it while I was there, so hopefully we can do something really cool next year. But it's their 5th time. It would also be my 5th time. So hopefully everything works out good. Sounds like we can. I was talking to them while I was there, and sounds like we'll put together some cool plans and rumors of a juice camp.
Yes,
but we'll see. Yeah, we'll see. Because I told them like they didn't realize how many of y'all came that like we already knew. You know, that drove or flew or whatever. Yeah. And maybe they hadn't met y'all the first year. And I introduced y'all to a lot of them. You know, Ali and. You know, and so forth, just Lindsay and others walking around and this and that and at the river and all that. So, you know, we just brought it. We bring a great vibe. It's fun. And like I said, we're all kind of professional ravers and partiers and professionals too in various capacities. So it's
in our other lives.
Well, you were saying, Wes, that you were thinking about next year having, you know, you and Kelly and Brendan, and then also having Jenny as well.
Well, I mean, yeah, I mean, it's like 3 days. It's like 3 days off of the thing, you know. And I don't make the decisions there, you know. Like there's a lot of adrenaline flow and a lot of talks of a lot of things, and you know, who knows? I mean, Diplo may fly in a helicopter. I don't know, man. It's just, but what I'll say is that you know. It would be great to go back for year 5, and the dream team would be to add ShYo back in the mix
and
have the 4 of us.
I'm ready. Year 5.
Yeah. That would be like the ultimate you know, part of the family there and all that stuff. So we'll see how it goes. There were some good conversations, and you know, I've worked with them and other things too. I don't know if you know, I have. At least 2, maybe 3 releases out on their record label. They have an Electric Love Records. Yeah. So I have a couple of releases out on their label and stuff like some remixes, some originals. So that's cool stuff. Yeah. So we've worked together a lot more than you know, the festival only, really through music releases through the festival, and then they do a thing in Vancouver called bringing the festival indoors, and they do that when it's wintertime.
Oh.
And so they brought me up to do the first one maybe 2 years ago when they kicked that series off, and they've done maybe 4 or 5, maybe some others. I don't know. I don't play at all those, so I don't keep track of every single one of them. But anyway, so we've done a lot of stuff outside of specifically the Electric Love Music Festival, and it would probably be special for all of us to, you know, be able to kind of celebrate all that together. So that's the plan. That's what we're shooting for. That's the dream.
Vancouver.
That's the dream.
Yeah, no, that's an easy trip for us. For anyone who's listening and might be familiar, Vancouver has it's Digital Motion is the drum and bass group in Vancouver, and they have events here and there. So Cameron and I have been up twice now for.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, throughout the year.
Yep, they have a venue called Red Room.
Yeah, okay.
Spy, Kelly. We went specifically to Vancouver to see Spy last year, and then we went and saw Calix and TB and Break earlier this year.
Pretty fun. But they do stuff all year long.
So fun.
All of those bass DJs, including they also have the cruise, the boat.
Oh,
cruise.
they have a drum and bass cruise, Kelly. They have a drum and bass cruise. We have to go.
Canada loves to party, so trust me. If assuming everything works out, trust me, the effort will be to try to get things figured out, as early as possible because, we can get. I've already had at least 5, maybe 10 people from San Diego talk to me, because we were live streaming little snippets and stuff. And I think, it just takes a while, right? It's their 4th year. And I think it was 4,000 or 5,000 people. And, the first year I played it, y'all, I don't know the official numbers, but just looking, if that was 4,000 or something, whatever. First year I played it was one day and there was like 300 people. So, so that's most of all crazy to me to see that happen because it's one thing probably, it's pretty crazy if you get brought, like say some festivals and go on for 10 years. Well, I'll give you a good example. Like I played Breakfast of Champions 2 years ago. Kelly played it last year. And when I played it 2 years ago, at that time, that was the biggest party I'd ever played at. That was like 6,500, maybe 7,000, but somewhere in that range, right? That party's been going for 20 years.
Right.
So it's an honor to go play something like that. But basically they're dropping you right into, what they call guests there. They'll have like 3 guests and everybody else is Space Cowboys or friends local and say.
Right.
So the 3-4 guests, is like me, Lee Reynolds, a couple others, but we were kind of, the headliner guests, if you will, right? They just don't call them headliners. But anyway, we get these, the slots where it's packed and all that in the afternoon. So my point to that is that's an honor, but it's a different kind of situation because you're getting dropped into what is already an established like 5,500, 6,000 person party and it's going off, and it's going off. They know it's going to go off, right? So that's just different, getting to play the 18th year. It's way different playing something for the first year where there's like 200-300 people. And then still, like now the 4th time, there's 4,000 something. And, there's obviously different sized dance floors going on there, but we had a blast and that stage was killer. Like that sound system was at least 3, maybe 4 times the size of the one when I did the first year. Which was the main stage at that time. So y'all saw the main stage this time. The beach stage, I don't even think it existed the first year.
I would love to hear a little like timeline for you having been there for all 4 years. Like share with us a little about that growth that you've had the opportunity to witness each year. It
was like maybe 300 people one day. I'm sure, some of it's a little foggy, but definitely not more than 500 people. And it was me. It was like myself, Michelle. I'd have to dig up the flyer, but I know there was at least someone else on there, maybe Ski Tour or, some pretty big Canadian names, something like that. But let's say like maybe 4, mid-tier headliners, myself, Michelle, and let's say like 2 others or something like that. Pretty sure that was the thing. That was about it. It was like one flyer, dude. I know that for sure. And you could read everything on the one flyer without having to zoom in, and pinch and scroll. That's year one. Yeah. And then the second year, I took my trailer up. I went on like a craft brew tour. I planned it ahead because I had so much fun the first time. And I drove up, took the trailer.
A couple of days ahead of time. Felicia mentioned that on the way home. And shout out to Felicia, Aaron, and Corinne, if you're listening.
Yeah.
Glad you joined us. Woo, squad. But we were like, next year we should, maybe we could even take the train from Seattle up to Vancouver or, just take the cars up there and hang out in Vancouver for a couple of days and then zip over and because they literally flew into Seattle the night before, like 10 p.m. We got up at 5 a.m. the next day. So they didn't even really get any other opportunity. They didn't get to experience Seattle, anything else. So I think next year maybe we could pad it with a couple of days so we could, do some other stuff.
Well, it's a great idea. There's amazing stuff around Vancouver. I'm going to sound like an advertising billboard by the end of this podcast, but they had, so year 2, I took the trailer and that tree line, jokingly, where Camp Clarity,
Yeah.
this year.
I
So
think I talked to all three of those people.
right. So there's that tree line, but then behind that is another tree line. So I told y'all where y'all were camping this year, that entire thing was 6 foot high grass when I was there. You couldn't go over there.
Down that much.
That explains all the spiders.
It just wasn't cut. It wasn't cut at all. And so the only part that was cut was like one big strip over near that other tree line, and that's where I put my trailer. I parked it way as far as they would let me because I wanted to be as far away from the sound stage as possible. And that was only like 20 tents in, you know, and that was pretty fun. So that gives you a rough idea of how much, you know. I didn't put a picture up of the grounds. Now, if anyone's interested, you can go on, you know, just go to electriclovemusicfestival.com. Or you can go to their Facebook, Electric Love Music Festival 2018. You could see some pictures real quick of, they've got some great drone shots and aerial shots of how it is now. And you can see just how many tents and, you know, vehicles and all that stuff are out there.
Hey,
so second year I played with Crafty Cuts.
Nice stuff, Kelly.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Second year.
This is the word from our sponsor.
Oh, unofficial sponsor.
Sponsor.
Yeah, I love it. What's up, Kelly Ross? That's that sweet Agent 137 cup that the Deans rolled in with. Mine broke. Mine got crushed by a big piece of ice.
Okay,
Sorry.
You're like, you just gotta, you know, just keep drinking and like it'll eventually come out.
If I wrapped it in duct tape, it just wouldn't make the same impression on people.
You're the tape. Sorry,
but thank you very much for the cup. At least we got some pictures of it. Drank a couple of Palomas in it.
This whole thing is for
my cup made it, and your cup made it, Kelly, and that was about it.
Yeah.
It's the Radsler Cup. Okay, sorry.
So second year when I took my trailer, that was like it was still one flyer. It was Michelle, myself, Crafty Cuts, Smoke One, who is Chris Kaufman. Y'all met him while we were there. I introduced y'all to him on the beach. You know, he's a longtime Electric Love supporter and helps build stuff. You know, and Brendan played that year as well. And then, so then last year, you know, I was able to take ShYo and had Brendan again, ground score. And we played back, the three of us played kind of like this year, but then DJ Icy played with us and Michelle played after. And then, no, she didn't play. Sorry, last year. And then she wasn't there. And then, of course, this year we did the thing on the beach, and we didn't play. You know, like our thing was the kind of highlight of the end of Friday during the daytime, rather than us playing on the other stage. So,
I loved
it was a lot of fun.
For the beach. So
yeah, it was a lot of fun.
Wes, I don't know if Cameron does either. I doubt it. Like, how did you and Ground Score connect? What's the story?
He has. So I met him at Electric Love the second year, and then he sent music, you know, and we put out one of his releases, and so he's had, I think, 2 different releases, maybe 4 songs total, something like that. And then I've just done some remixes of a couple of them that'll come out a little bit later this year. So yeah, he's an artist on the label, basically. Yeah, and so obviously Kelly, you know, has done almost everything there is to do at Juice at some point or another. or Yo Team, as we affectionately ended up having to call it, because we ran out of things to how to classify all the things. It's just Yo Team, and then Colin, who y'all know from United by Bass, Colin here in San Diego.
I love Colin. He's great.
Yeah, he pretty much runs all the label side, like gets the releases out and stuff like that. Kelly used to do that, but then Colin does it now. And Kelly's got her hands full with the show.
Wolfasalo, yes.
Wolfasalo.
Yeah, Kelly's got her hands full trying to keep up with words I come up with that have the word yo on.
Or vice versa.
And deal with my almost you know, monthly mood swings about social media things.
That never happens. Okay.
Never happens.
Can we give a quick shout out? We have
shout out time.
We have Oliver.
Oliver's up in here.
Thank you, Oliver. The main guy for Electric Love.
And Lindsay.
The guy.
The guy that went on stage and talking about
That's awesome that they both
about the people in the river.
Yeah, exactly. I'm psyched he swept in. What's up, Ollie?
And Lindsay. And
Lindsay. Big shout out to Galactic Hobos. Ooh, I'm telling you, I'm holding that. So that's the 1, 2, 3, 4 on the festival, you guys. And then for this year, I got especially since Ollie's on here now, I was going to say like the Thursday night, because it didn't start Thursdays, right? So first year, like I said, basically one night, maybe a day, one night.
Yeah.
Second year, I think it was 2 days. Third year, it went 3 days, but they had it on a Canadian holiday weekend. This year, it wasn't on that Canadian holiday weekend, but they were able to start it on Thursday.
Yeah.
And as you know, we rocked through Sunday, which was awesome. Thursday night was great.
No.
I don't know if y'all went over to the Zen Den, but
this time last week we were full on party mode.
You guys,
exactly.
I just told, I had lunch with EKB today because she wanted to hear about it. And I told her, I was like, Thursday night, oh, more beer? Okay. Thursday night was almost like its own little festival because obviously, the Nest wasn't open yet. The arcade wasn't open. So we have Long Dock Short Walk at the Zen, not Zen. And Slink was, and that was like its own little festival in itself. And that was incredible.
Oh, yeah.
Thursday night was amazing.
It was so crazy. So I basically went over. I had to take a nap, so I took a nap, but I made a point to get up to go over for Galactic Hobos, which is Ollie and Jeff. Yeah, if I didn't get it right, I'm pretty sure he does two different two-person things, so I think I got it right. But correct me if I'm wrong. But anyway, the Galactic Hobos rocking it, and that was so crazy. And I loved their set. And at the end of their set, they played 2 of my tracks. So I could say I love this set without just because they played my song because it was all the way at the end. So I was rocking out, man. That was so much fun.
Thursday night was freaking amazing. Oh yeah, juice.
Yeah. But I mean, there's so many shout outs. Like they're in here, listen to a little bit. Obviously, they're awesome, and they have been there since the very beginning. I will tell you. My shell brought me in. The very first time, that's when I met the whole crew that we just talked about, and it's just been awesome ever since.
On, right, Russ?
I'm sorry, what's that?
My shells passed on.
She did. She passed away last year, a little bit after the third one, and that's why that memorial was there on the first night where they had the kind of opening and dedication and that kind of stuff. Yep.
Oh yeah, 9 p.m.
That's right. Yeah, and we were all over there, so that's what that was all about. Yeah, for kind of people who they didn't really explain the background to.
Yeah, so. No, it's important, it seems like
well, it's all the whole thing is her vision. I mean, what a beautiful person. I mean, the whole thing is her vision. So yeah.
That's incredible.
What did
absolutely.
Allison, what did that person say? Was their comment on the Electric Love page after the festival was over? It seemed like a neighbor or something.
Oh, somebody! Oh my gosh, it was so funny. I was reading reviews on just the main.
Oh yeah.
And somebody was like, "This festival can piss right off. I live nearby. I want to sleep." Go look in the reviews. It's just like 1 star. This festival can piss right off.
Well, these things are always, what I can say is like, I'm sure, I mean, I've thrown my share of parties, nothing that big, but they're a great crew there. And I just, like it's important to make sure that people understand that the crew that runs that is top notch. I mean, they've got people with 20, 30 years experience. They've got people with, 10 years. They've got people with, collegiate degrees in business management and festival management that are running it. So they're definitely great people doing it. And there's always going to be something, whether it's an emergency, a dumb person, maybe some miscommunication to a neighbor, whatever. There's all these things. So I'm just saying that because I personally now have for more than 4 years, worked with them, not just in the festival, but other things. And it's all essentially the same management and top notch. They continue to educate themselves. The thing has grown fast, and they're conscious that they have to, try to make sure that it's good for everybody and the environment. As you've seen, they're proud to take those photos the next day. They posted some on the site to show how well the cleanup went, all that kind of stuff. And that's impressive, because we know not everybody took their garbage away.
No,
you know what I'm saying? So
people do. I do feel like for the most part, everyone gets it. I really do feel like everyone there, maybe 90%, like get it. They're there to party. They're there to have a good time. But even, for example, the first night, our neighbors were up all night, really loud.
You're so mad. You're so mad.
They were so funny. And, to be honest, but what I will say is super awesome. They came over and they were like, hey, we really want to apologize. And we even ourselves were like, hey, you may have heard us complaining about you, and
we might have said some negative things.
Trying to get that sleep.
Admittedly, we were tired. We were frustrated. That doesn't make saying mean things okay. And it was this really cool moment of like, everyone just gets to apologize and be humble for a moment. And then like, hey, it's cool.
Like,
you know?
they were like, just
it was awesome.
in true Canadian fashion, you know, they're like, this festival's called Electric Love, not Electric Hate.
Yeah.
They're like, and we want to get along with our neighbors, and we want, you know, we screwed up. And we're
we
like,
did too. Like even and we were like, it didn't feel good being like angry about it. You know, it was more tongue in cheek. We're like laughing because of course like everyone's up and you know you could hear music thumping away. You know, till 7 a.m. and the sun's beating on you at 8:30 a.m.
That first night,
you got to go down and jump in the river. So real quick, like a little bit for people that weren't there. Let me. I'm going to give a quick rundown of the layout, the way it is now, and has, you know, and now that they've got like things running full and stuff. So you basically have, you know, all the general camping. You've got some other camping areas, artists, staff, stuff like that. Nothing too exclusive, you know, it's not an exclusivity kind of thing. It's more just to keep organized and make so artists that camp with artist friends and family, you know, can do that. And they're very good about allotting and numbering everything. It was really cool and organized in that way. And then so that's camping. And then, you know, there's like, you know, medic facilities, stuff like that. There's all the water stations around, and then, you know, things you would expect. And then there's, even though it was very hot, right, some days, you know, there's the river. And so down on the beach during the day, basically everybody, that's the stage that we did the Juice Night Out session on, and right up until basically close to sunset. And yeah, and that's the wormhole. And, you know, big shout out to John Crisco for managing that stage. And then Nick was like our artist liaison. So I want to cover a few things, like, because y'all might not have known about it. And, you know, we're having you on here as guests to just hang out and talk to you guys because we love you. But also, since we're talking about this, we just came off it. There's just some things that really stand out I want to talk about, because I played my share of parties, and I got to tell you, like, to have an artist liaison hang out with you the whole time, that doesn't normally happen.
Are you talking about your ATV ride to the stage?
Yeah,
all of it, just all of it, you know. And I don't look for those things. I don't, you know, I have a very simple rider. I don't, you know, I kind of handle all my own travel and everything myself. I've just always been that way, just to not be a problem for people. You know, there's a certain level of artists where, you know, you're more like a corporation and there's things that got to be done. You're in and out, maybe playing Friday, Saturday, Sunday, whatever. But, you know, different things for different people. But my point is just in general is that the festival, like, those are small touches, like, for artists that don't happen everywhere. So I think it's important to note, like, these are the kind of details, you know, that they're paying attention to, even growing fast. Like Nick, like, was hanging out, checked on us twice the day before, right, Kelly? It's like making sure we had, you know, did we need ice? Just simple things, anything. Like Kelly needed an air pump to switch her air mattress or whatever, and they did it. You know, it was awesome. And you know, that none of that stuff is stuff we asked for or expected or required or they owed us. You know, but that's the kind of thing. They're following people around, making sure everybody's comfortable, making sure you can focus on doing your music, you know, and have a good show. And that to them is like number one, making sure the artists, you know, outside of all the things they do for, you know, like the patrons like yourselves, etc., ticket holders, for the artists, you know, they've got those liaisons, just making sure that artists are focused on doing what they're supposed to do, you know, and that's really great. It's just a really nice thing. So that stage manager, you know, doesn't have to try to deal with artists, you know, and whatever we may or may not need. They got the artist liaison for each group, and it's really awesome. And that's an A plus thing right there.
Wes, that like this year, I mean, like after coming off of last year and in that experience, as just a festival goer or someone attending, you know, the differences and the upgrades and just the attention, like you said, to details that happened this year as opposed to last year were very, very noticeable and very welcomed. And you know, and it's like you said, they're trying their best to you know, organically grow with the popularity of their event. And it's like it's like they almost took every single suggestion, you know, and said, okay, hey, how can we improve on this? You know, okay, well, we ran out of ice last year. Let's get more ice. we didn't
It's
have
really
enough.
dusty. Let's make AstroTurf.
That was awesome. Wow, that was the football field turf was the upgrade.
Yeah.
Just so you know, that was football field turf, so it doesn't fray off and
They filled the lines on it.
Kelly, did you see that guy's
Yeah.
response in that thread? Because I was like, AstroTurf was clutch, and then some guy was like, yeah, they brought it out, and I think like some of the attendees started rolling it out, so they just kind of let them do it because everyone wanted to.
Yeah.
They're amazing.
And that was like legit football field turf, is what I'm saying. It's not the moopy cheap crap from Home Depot that causes all the problems at Burning Man.
It was really nice.
It was very nice to not have to wear shoes and to dance.
Yeah.
Exactly. That was
Yeah.
huge. And then
that Ray Keith set,
Oh yeah.
Oh man.
I mean,
Well, hey, as long as we're shouting out to some people, I got this list here, man. I've been like, because I knew we were gonna end up talking about this, and I was like, I'm just gonna throw these out there, man. I don't know if they're listening or not. I'm trying to talk, but they're just in alphabetical order, man. It's not Ollie and Lindsay we already talked about, but I got Carmen. Let's see, I got Bex. She joined us on the boat even afterward. Chris Kaufman took us out. That was so much fun.
Really nice.
And let's see, Brandon, this kid helped out with a lot of stuff while we were there. Y'all might have met him with dreads. Catherine Bell, she's your friend. Dilla, one of the ops people, just such a great job and checking in and stuff. Aaron, also your friend. Jeff Gavin, one of the ops guys, just above and beyond. Jenny, who was at check-in, fantastic, just kicked it, like made it all easy for Kelly and I. Everything was cool going in, no problems. As well as your guest eventually that you brought.
Speaking of check-in, Wes, thank you so much for hooking up, helping out with.
Totally. Your friend Curtis, really awesome.
Curtis is
Michelle Thug Shell, the girl that I met who emceed for me, that was fantastic.
Yeah.
What a trip, and like nobody expected that to happen, including myself. Except that there's a really funny picture. I didn't remember, someone else took it, I guess. There's a really funny picture of us like in the DJ tent, and it's almost like a pep talk on a little league bench. And I think she was talking to me about her experience in flow because I just met her. So anyway, we did that whole thing. It's a really funny looking picture. She's like sitting down and I'm like leaning like a coach or something. It's really funny. It got posted. So her, Nick, our artist liaison, of course. Rhiannon was one of our camp neighbors that we had some fun with. Kelly and them were cracking up one night. And then the Fives guys, Ryan Wild, Scott Wild, the brothers, Tyler, they were camping near Sticky Buds, Slink, that whole group was near us. Tomas, their manager, Brendan and his girlfriend. Anyway, that's just, I could go on and on, but there's like a bunch, and I don't know if y'all have any to throw in there. I'm sure I missed, no doubt I missed some, but that's a list of like 20. And I'm just giving you an example. Like that's 20 that I tried to remember to write down, getting ready for today, which we usually don't get ready at all. And then there's probably 50 more that help do some awesome stuff.
I mean, I think it'd be fun to talk about like sets that really stood out to us or maybe surprised us.
So if you guys want to talk about yourselves for a little while, that'd be cool.
Yeah, let's
you talk about yourselves.
The Juice Day Out showcase.
I said my piece. It was awesome. What's up, Kelly? Kelly, talk about her piece. What do you think, Kelly?
Talk about your experience.
Being this your first year and everything.
First time Electric Love and playing the beach. What do you think, Kelly?
Yeah, do it.
Talk about me? It was good. Actually, Wes called me up and he was like, hey, do you want to come out to Canada? And I'm pretty familiar with it, because I've been around Wes for a couple years now, at least. I think it was like 2013. We were determining today, but so I've seen this grow and had the opportunity to actually do a couple of the variety shows with people from Electric Love, and we've also done I used to do interviews whenever he would go out and do his show, so we did some interviews as well. And then he asked me if I wanted to come out. I was like, yeah, okay, to Vancouver. I'm far, so New York to Vancouver, why not? And got to meet, Brendan and do the Juice Night Out showcase, and it was a lot of fun. Got a lot of positive feedback, and
gave away a few pieces of swag.
Yeah, I gave away a few pieces of swag, and yeah, but it was a lot of fun. I had a great time.
Kelly, it was, I will say from our vantage point, Brennan Ground Score, you were awesome. You're always awesome. It's been really fun to see you a couple years in a row. So shout out to you, Brennan. Kelly and I had been chatting and getting to know each other a little bit before the festival, and we shared our love we have very similar drum and bass tastes.
Yes.
So, yeah. So I was just excited, and we were excited to be out there, just really to be support for you guys, and it meant a lot to us to be able to be there. Part of the Juice Crew is very important to us. Yeah. So you probably look back and we're like, woo! Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Cheers
Sorry.
to that. Cheers.
But Kelly, you had such a great stage presence, and what the best part about your stage presence was that you were just having a good time. You were up there, you were loving your music.
Psyched to be there.
You had some cute little moves. I told you did this thing, I almost fell on the ground. But you just had a really good time, and the crowd feels that. The crowd feels you having a good time. So the music is good, and then you see the DJ into it, and it's so you had the beat, the sun, all of it was just this perfect combination.
Well, it's like last year.
I'm just so happy for you.
We would ask people, we're like, oh, who are you excited to see? Who's your favorite DJ or who's your favorite group? And that's how we found out about, a lot of new bands or DJs. And so for this year, we still did that, but we were able to go, oh, hey,
come check
you
us
guys
out.
got to go. You got to be at this
showcase.
Yeah.
Juice showcase.
You got to see Kelly. You got to see Wes. You got to see Brendan play. And they're like, oh, okay, let's go check it out. And so people, we created a buzz for you guys. And
we hope so anyway.
Totally.
Everybody does that, at those festivals.
And you made a great point, Wes. It was because of the heat wave, people were out on the beach longer than probably normal. Namaste. And so, that's where people were there, all damn day. And you can probably agree, Wes, this year people brought more shade structures so you could be out there all day. Because last year it was you're out there.
There was no shade last year.
Shit, it's hot. I
Zero.
can't just stand in the sun and bake. So everyone had their umbrellas. Everyone had their pop-up tents. And the beauty of that festival is it's so small enough that the trek to walk your pop-up tent from camp isn't that bad.
Yeah,
it's a short walk.
Not terrible. And there's still there's a good bit of flexibility with getting your car to your spot and car camping and stuff like that.
So easy. That's the best part of it. Is it's small enough.
Can we bring an RV to the artist camp?
I want a Juice RV.
I don't know, man. We slept in tents, man. I'm a tent guy. I have my trailer. I do have my trailer, but it's funny because I'm really not an RV guy, man. I'm going to stay at Burning Man in a tent this year, I'm just, a lot of that stuff. What's that?
You have one. What are you
I don't have an RV. I've never owned an RV. Yeah.
It's a trailer.
Okay.
It's very different because so here's the thing. So my trailer number one is vintage. It's from 1952.
I love that.
And I worked at restoring it, and it has a very small air conditioner now, but that's its only footprint. It's decked out with solar. That thing is as environmentally friendly as you can get something. It doesn't run on gas, nothing. So my truck, which I have anyway, which is my main mode of transportation, which I drive very little. So my truck, even though if we go all environmental, even though my truck in theory would be a big carbon footprint, if I drove it every day, but I put 4,000 miles a year on my truck. So, if it's an 18 mile or 12 mile per gallon, truck, you drive 3,000 miles versus putting 25 on a 60 mile a gallon, it all pans out, right? Carbon footprint, whatever. So anyway, my point is motorhomes and those things are big time gas guzzlers. So when you're running those things around, a lot of them are old. They have terrible emissions, all that kind of stuff. So it's just not for me. That's all I'm saying. I don't mind them showing up. I'm not going to go slit someone's tires. It's fine, but if I can do a lower footprint and I can do the tent thing, Kelly, the tent was great. Having the air mattress, it was totally fine.
I did that for you, right?
Yeah, it was part of our gig for the thing.
Shout out to the organizer for thinking that far ahead for you to provide you that. Side note, they do make these like convertible like van things. I think are called Juicy.
Juicy RVs.
Yeah, I've seen them. They're pretty pricey. But you're right. And those are definitely like you can camp 2, sometimes 4, depending on the top. And then they have like, obviously more economical and newer emissions, all that stuff. But anyway, about what I was saying about the trailer was if the reason I would do that was because if we had, let's say it was just the squad that was there this year and they were all camping together. The nice thing about the trailer is like it doesn't run like the air conditioner all runs on batteries and solar and stuff like that. So it's completely, there's no generator that has to run and that kind of stuff. So my trailer, which is 21 feet, not huge, but nice, has a dining table, all that stuff, bed. That could be like our chill AC space if needed, and then everybody else can just be intense and do like everybody else does at the festival. Because otherwise, what tends to happen also to me when a pod of this happens at Burning Man, I'll tell you, and this is really my biggest experience with pods of like motorhomes, and this goes out to anybody, not just talking about now. It's a great reason to think about is like what happens when you have a pod of motorhomes is nobody hangs out outside.
Right. No, I agree with you. Everyone kind of gets segmented into their...
Exactly. It's exactly what happens. And you'll be camping right next to people that you never see and you don't know. And to me, particularly with something like Electric Love Music Festival, like that's not the point there. Like there's a big like get out, meet people you haven't met, look, find people that maybe are there solo or maybe lost their friend for the day, whatever's going on, right? And everybody just be chill and find a common interaction. That's one of the things I love about that place.
That's what made, I think, Cameron's in my first year so incredible was that where we camped happened to be next to, I don't know, Wes, if you've seen like the big Star Wars bus. It's like
that thing's awesome.
Okay, so his name is Jeremy Gilron. Look up anyone who's watching. Look up Dark Side of the Spoon.
Yeah,
that's his like Instagram stuff, and he like has that crazy Star Wars bus. He's just a trip and a super nice guy. So we're parked next to him, like behind him. Next to us is Alex Cruz, who's also part of the hip hop showcase.
Yeah, he performed this year.
He got to open up.
Yeah, it was awesome.
He opened up for the Beat Nuts and was super excited. So like him and his homies, we totally got to hang out with last year, And so I agree 100%. And the reason those interactions happened was because we were all outside and all just like hanging out. So I agree with you on that.
Yeah, and let's not miss the fact that it's maybe sometimes hard for people to understand a little bit, but it was blazing hot a few days, no doubt. There's pretty good work with shade and stuff over those major dance floor areas. The Octopus stage over there was killer with some live band stuff and the hip hop things going on. That was a lot of fun, and that was probably the hottest one. But even still, like the farthest stage away from the water is maximum like 10-minute walk.
Maximum
to get to the water. Maximum, maybe 5. And the beauty of that is you get to pass by all the food vendors on the way. And people spraying you and spritzing you with water and like the fans with the
food vendor,
the misting fans coming out. I say food vendor and Kelly popped back in.
Breakfast sandwiches and hash browns.
Let's
talk a little about food.
Let's take a moment to talk about our poutine.
Let's talk about food.
That was badass.
Smoked meat.
Kelly was like, I don't know about the poutine.
I never had it. Didn't want to try it. I was not open-minded.
Not gonna do it.
I usually try doing it. So, I was so sad today because I was like doing it and no one heard me. And I was like,
Canadian potato chips.
Canadian potato chips.
We went to the
Old
store.
Dutch barbecue.
We had ketchup and all dress before.
We had the ketchup Lays. I forgot about the ketchup
potato chips.
Oh man, I killed at least 3 bags of those, and I was so salty in the morning.
Disgusting, and then we ate them anyway, and they were great.
Yeah, I was so when I woke up in the morning, I was so parched.
The poutine though, the poutine was pretty good. All right, so if anybody doesn't know what poutine is, because I didn't know what poutine was,
lay it down, Kelly.
It is fries with curds, but they have to be special curds, and then they put gravy on it, which sounds. It's like against everything that I'm allowed to eat in like a month. It's just disgusting. But then we got smoked. Oh, there's a mosquito. So then
Frank. Hey, DJ loves not having it, Kelly. He's like, poutine is delicious. All caps. What's your problem?
I didn't say it wasn't delicious.
Before you go see Dave Seaman, you need poutine.
Oh yeah, Dave Seaman and the poutines. Just sounds.
Steven, the poutines. I forgot. And the neon churros. Remember, Wes? The neon churros.
The neon churros.
Dilla's in the comments. She's in there because she was in the green room the night I was eating all the tomato chips, and I loved them so much. I asked her if she'd go get more, and they delivered. They got more bags. It was so fucking awesome.
I'm a writer now.
Yeah.
I put that in the writer.
Canada,
There's two things you absolutely cannot get in the USA. I have never ever seen them once ever in all my years here, and that's poutine and potato chips.
The tomato, but they were ketchup.
Ketchup potato chips.
Sorry.
And they were only delicious.
Sorry.
May have had like something with a little bit of fizzy in it. That's all I'm saying. The tomato, ketchup chips.
I remember in Super Troopers, the first one, when they're like, what are you doing? He's like, we're going over the border for French fries and gravy, sir. It's poutine. That's exactly what that means.
Oh, I forgot about that. You're right.
Well, if you're silly American and you ever get a chance, for your first time, just go right in and get poutine with smoked meat. I'm just saying.
I do approve. I did like it. I did actually kind of like go like this around it, and
it was good.
The smoked meat was amazing.
So last year, one of those trucks had miso soup, and it was like $2 miso soup, save your life. And I did not see that there this time.
But it was still there.
I think it was the Japanese. It wasn't at the Japanese spot. No, the spot that had the yakisoba.
Yeah, Curtis got miso soup at like 2 a.m. I saw him walking back to
it was there. It was that yakisoba spot, the Japanese one near the nest. They had it.
In the nest.
That's a lie. There is no miso soup. I would have been all over it.
They had it.
Someone had it. Maybe they ran out. A little bit more on food. So there was some other killer stuff, and then there was great vendors too. So much amazing art.
Oh my gosh, they had so many great vendors.
The Thai food was amazing.
And if you really took the time and you looked at the different like clothing and other vendors, like there was some incredible stuff there.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I bought some jewelry. I buy some like bracelets every year. I bought some stuff. I was there. Last year I bought a yak wool blanket because I forgot my tent.
Wool blanket. Oh, that smell.
I forgot my sleeping bag.
How does that smell?
What's a yak wool?
I don't know. Apparently it's from the Himalaya. All I got to tell you is it's warm. It's warm, so I brought it with me this year, and I got to tell you it was super snuggly.
I folded that up.
Why don't we talk about the wish box for a second?
Oh, do it. Yeah, describe the mushroom wish box. That was sweet.
Yeah, that's your find.
So Aaron Duman and I were walking along, and somebody, shout out to whoever you are, created these beautiful cloth and like sparkle mushrooms in, it's very lush foresty area. So your eye is drawn to these different size mushrooms, and you look over to the left, and there's a box that just says, "Open me." Very like Alice in Wonderland, like Lewis Carroll style, right?
It was very much so.
Yeah. So you look down, and I looked at her, and I was like, "You do it." So Aaron goes down. Cameron
goes down. No, I was fine.
Okay. So I was like, "You do it." And you open the box, and it's this beautiful, succulent, little setup in it, a whole thing that just says, essentially, like, write a wish. There's paper, there's a little pen, and you open the bottom part, and there's a place where everyone has put their wishes. And I just thought it was one of the coolest things.
Who was the one writing a long wish? Was it
No, somebody couldn't get the pen to work. But, it was just a beautiful creation by someone. And the best part about it was that I thought, at many a festival type experience, that could be something that somebody like, maybe like, destroy, or they mess it up in some way. But
be like, no.
But it was so well.
No.
Yeah, it was so beautiful and well-intentioned that, like, every person who came upon that took very good care of it because it was kind of delicate. I thought that was a really neat little like that all over the festival. And
should have found a connection to the person's Facebook page.
I know they didn't have any information as to who actually did it. So if whoever is watching, if you know who did the little open me wish box, that was incredible and what a joy to be able to write.
We want you to know We wish that you bring it again next year.
Please bring it again.
Wait, you don't want to be I'm eating chips in shame. What are you doing?
Yeah, don't worry about it.
Okay. So anyhow, this was another incredible experience. It does get bigger and better every year, but even just in the 2 years we've been, I still see so much heart and soul in that festival. And I've never been to Shambhala. I've never been to Base Coast. I know that there's a very similar sense of, people that go to Shambhala talk about going home.
Sure.
I get it because it's a place like a Burning Man, right? Where people get to go and you get to remove the outer layers of your life and be yourself and be uninhibited in a way that is authentic. And I never understood what a decompression party meant until I think really last year.
It's like this podcast. It's so that you can
The decompression part. I didn't understand what that meant until I realized that it is like you come back into this world, and if you're lucky enough, you live in a world where you are accepted for who you are and you are able to be a little bit of your true self in your daily life. And I understand that not everybody has that ability.
Right.
And so I understand now why decompression events happen, so that like you can, you're back in it's like the Matrix.
It's like assimilating. Yeah, it's assimilating back to the
land of Mr. Anderson.
To the real world.
Yeah.
Hey, while you're saying that, I'm going to try something real quick. Hold on. Let me see if this works. Everybody's still there?
Oh, yay, that's it. So
that's the mushrooms she was describing.
It's right next to it.
That's great. I mean, just the artistry was phenomenal.
Yeah, I was like, go that way.
Yeah, I can't. Sorry, I didn't take a picture of the box at the bottom left, the sacred box.
No wish.
Yeah, I didn't get a photo of it.
But those are the mushrooms. Those are the mushrooms.
Those are the mushrooms.
There we go. There we go back. Hey, look at me with my tricky photo overlay skills. What's up, everybody? Anybody who's watched all 58 of these is like, damn, Wes is getting fancy. He's getting fancy with the photos. Watch out, people.
So, Kelly, you've discussed coming to Seattle soon. Wes, we were talking about maybe Vancouver. Like, we were so sad because when you brought the game on tour to Seattle, we were in Springs for his sister's wedding. So
that's right. Y'all weren't there. Yeah.
So I would love anytime that you are here in Seattle, we'd love to have you. And we are juice devotees.
Well, thank you. Thank you very much. I love to hear it. And yeah. And my focus really, my focus with the Juice Night Out stuff is really, ShYo and I did maybe 10 together. This was more, a number of dates last year, and those were all the Game on Tour related stuff. And then that was cool because it was kind of on the back of the video game project, which was, ShYo came up with the name for the tour, but that we did together, those parts. But it was Tabletop Racing World Tour was the name of the actual game. So that's what that was all based on. It was really cool, and it gave ShYo and I a great chance to work together, which worked really well. A lot of times when you're doing any kind of business together outside of just the fun, it can be stressful and whatever, but ShYo and I really saw a lot of things like eye to eye, ideologically shared a lot of stuff. We like a lot of similar music, or at least are open to whatever music each other like. So we never had issues like that or anything like that. And so, just made what probably could have been some really stressful points for some people, whether it's money, logistics, travel, whatever's going on. But both of us are like get it done kind of people. So that was awesome. And so then when, once that was done, our plan with that whole thing was really to like sort of go around the country a bit, see how we could work together and see how things went, that kind of thing. And then think about if we wanted to do more stuff. And that's when we came up with the Juice Night Out ideas for nighttime parties. You might remember I did some Juice Day Out parties, but those were never intended to be anywhere other than San Diego because San Diego is just such a day place. And so that was just kind of like the testing of the 4 that we did. And then we started doing the J&O one. So we've done like 3 or 4 now. And San Francisco was the last one. That's definitely the biggest so far. And that was really cool. And so with those, like our thing is to really just, go up and down West Coast places, really between San Diego and Vancouver. So Seattle's definitely on that list. We had a great time when we did the Game On Tour stop there. We learned some things we could have done better. You know, it wasn't the biggest show we did. It was a lot of fun. It was a lot of fun, and we just, you know, we learned a lot on planning things and stuff that, you know, even though ShYo's thrown really big parties by way of Space Cowboys and being very instrumental in a lot of those in San Francisco, you know, even as much as Breakfast of Champions, 6,000-7,000 people, and helping be integral in like managing that. And then I haven't thrown ones that big, but my share before San Diego and here. And then, you know, just bringing those experiences together, and we kind of got that dialed in to what we can both handle, you know, from a time commitment perspective, as well as what we think makes sense to like people online and social media and all that. Because we learned a lot about a lot of those things. You know, you just too much social media, too much constantly asking people to support you or do this or do that, and you know, it just starts to wear thin, and it doesn't feel right, you know. And then you start to feel like, oh, dude, you know, like I got to go shill my stuff just cause, you know. And we don't want that to happen. So that's the Juice Night Out idea behind that. Is that's the concept. You know, the goal is not to be doing them every weekend for the sake of doing a party. You know, it's more to have a theme around bringing anybody who is either an artist or has helped immensely, like in Kelly's case, and even ShYo or whatever along the way. And that's what's going on. It's been working great. So the ones we've done have been great. That's the story behind that.
Yeah.
Well, you know, we're you know, collectively we know a lot of people in this city and the surrounding areas, and there's always a lot of great music nights going on.
Yeah.
In all genres.
Yeah.
So especially with like the Fractured crew that does break beats.
Yep.
You know.
Shout out Dot Diggler.
Oh,
Yeah.
What's up, Dot Diggler?
Past Variety ShYo guest.
Yeah, so those guys and you know, and Kelly Demo, you know, and those guys with the Baltic Room and Drum and Bass Tuesdays.
Kelly, you should come play drum and bass too.
So there's so many nights and there's so many great things going on, and I definitely think that there's a place for you guys to come and play and do your thing, and whether that's individually or collectively, I think it's something that could definitely happen. It's just, you know, a matter of figuring it out.
Yeah.
Or if Spy comes, we could just go to that.
I know.
Or just that.
I can just bring Spot.
Yeah. Well,
that's
that's another very important point too. Is, you know, like, and another reason ShYo and I didn't want to like go crazy trying to do too many parties is because, you know, we both play other parties like throughout the year, and so, you know, you got to have time for that. And we're both just fans of music, right? So we just sometimes go to shows that we're not even involved with, you know?
Yeah.
Oh.
That's true.
And yeah, it's real easy. It's real easy. One thing we found mostly watching other promoters, you know, it's real easy for a regional local promoter to really start doing well and having a good time and almost forget that they're stepping all over everybody else in the scene. Without realizing it, right? You start doing a party every week, party every 2 weeks. It's like, I don't know. There's just a balance there. I just think you got to look at it. Yeah, I just think you have to look at that balance, you know, and because there's a fine line where it becomes like, where people's opinion starts to become a business that doesn't care about anybody. They may still go because you have the biggest headliners come through, and that's cool. I'm just saying these are considerations that we learned. Those are considerations we learned through working with, let's say, you know, level 1 to 5 promoters around the country, or trying to work with level 1 to 5. And then those are things we learn and sort of realize the strata of what goes on in the deep, dark backside. And so it's just that was ShYo and I working out and finding the place where we were comfortable being, you know. It's fine. Whatever anybody does is their deal, you know. But those were just observations we made and things that happen. And a lot of times people don't like to hear, you know. A lot of times people don't like to or care to hear about, you know, the dark backside of a lot of this stuff. But the reality is it's there, you know. So, you know, that's not what we're all about with talking. You know, the podcast is not a music business show, but these things do happen. And if someone asks the experience, you know, I'll share a little bit of it. So that's it for that.
Show us your pussy.
Yay!
It's show and tell time. That's Sweet Pea. That's Sadie.
This is Sadie. She just will sit there and not do anything.
He's kind of doing the same thing.
Bring it. Where's yours? Kelly, where's yours? Kelly, where's yours?
Why are you doing this to me?
In the corner right here.
Oh, yeah. Hey, look at that tail.
Yeah. Well, he's cool, man.
What? So what else from the Deans? What else any other things about the festival you really enjoyed, loved? You've been there 2 years, so you saw
So we
change.
talked about some of the we obviously the Nest stage had the incredible upgrade of like all of the LED screens, which we all know for one night they probably had some issues with the power on how to allocate best sound and light power. That's difficult. It's a lot.
Yeah.
But I'm glad they figured it out by the last night,
like,
because otherwise they
I know. I would have loved to hear Ski Tour and Sticky Buds a little louder, but at the same time, no harm, no foul. The AstroTurf, they had those really beautiful lanterns they set up, and they had better like
in the campgrounds, the lanterns
all over the place actually, and then tree lights.
Yeah.
It was just clear they sat down and they thought about how can we continue to make the attendee experience better. And the things that they did, 100%, there wasn't anything that they did that wasn't impactful. There wasn't
right.
in a positive way, like where you're like, oh,
there wasn't anything
why did they do
that?
that?
Like, yeah, why'd they do that? No, everything they did had a meaningful impact. It was clear that they put themselves, because they are festival goers themselves. They could put themselves in our shoes.
Music lovers.
Yeah, exactly. And I don't know. So I think that as much as, of course, I would love to check out a bigger, festival such as a Shambhala, let's say,
or a Base Coast.
Yeah, I mean, I would love to do all the things, but I don't have all the monies, and I don't have all of the times.
Are you sure you don't want to go to Shambhala though? Because we could probably do it.
I mean, I do, but
it's only a couple days away. We could just keep like whatever.
in my car and go.
I'm going to Burning Man. Sorry, I got a 747 to move across the desert.
All right, Kelly, let's win that lottery. Let's go to Shambhala. Let's make things happen.
I mean, I kind of won one today, so let's go.
I know. But and I think I'm excited to see. So Cameron and I.
I'm just watching your cat.
I know, back there in the back. We can just go to San Diego, and we can hopefully time that at a time when you have an event, so we can come back and rally a little bit around a juice event.
I still don't think that SD Union has posted who their headliner is for their. They did.
Anniversary.
Yeah.
It's Fred V and Graphics.
Oh, that's their headliner?
Yeah, they have Fred V and Graphics for their headliner.
Yeah. We were trying to figure out a way to go down to San Diego for SD Union's 8th year, but it's not in the cards.
Not gonna work out.
Not working.
Next time.
They got like their 8th year coming up, right?
In like 2 weeks.
Yeah, well, big shout out to SD Union and United by Base. They're some of the homies here. We talk about them all the time on here, and that's their 8th year coming up for SD Union. The United by Base, not quite that old yet, but SD Union is the drum and bass arm.
We'll let you know so you can come too. We can like reconvene.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
Totally.
Guys,
so anybody, look, I mean, I already started telling people, I was hitting like any people I work with in music, especially because I was just trying to catch up with them all this week, and they've been seeing the social media storm and all that stuff, and I was like, just be ready, and I guarantee I'll be, letting them know as soon as we know what's going on, with the festival. Yeah, I mean, whatever. They usually launch pretty early, 6 months ahead or something, so,
Oh, yeah, definite open invitation.
Open invitation to whomever wants to come. I mean, I think that enough people have seen, like, all of us have the time that we've had where it's, Now
they're like, okay, maybe this is something worth looking into. I remember when I bought the tickets for this year, I was at school, and I kid you not, Wes and Kelly, I was in the middle of cutting someone's hair, and I used myself to go to the restroom at like 9:58, and I was like, all right, I got to buy these tickets, and I still only got tier 3. So
they went fast.
Yeah.
They're people are onto the event. They're on the festival.
Yeah, I mean, we'll definitely be working the mission for year 5, and just mark your calendars. If you hear this an hour later, I'm telling you, just mark your calendars at least for the time. And consider it. If you've never traveled to a festival, it's a real easy one to be your first travel because the ticket price isn't insane, and Canada itself is not insane. It's not like dropping into Detroit or Miami Beach or something where everything's insane. you know, you can really make a realistic budget for a get out of town first time party.
Affordable. Like I mean, if you know, Alice and I went, you know, semi prepared the first year. But you know, if you have just a little bit of money, like you can go to the festival, you can have a good time, you can get fed, you can have all the drinks,
There's
you can have all the fun.
Available. That's what
and the water is free and plentiful.
So's the river.
And also too, I have to say that I went onto my credit card statement today and I was like, oh, that was way cheaper than I thought. Like, because
I spent $20.
We did well.
We went to Walmart and it was $95. We thought we spent like $125, and we were like, oh, this is great. We only spent $125 on food for the whole time. And then I was like, it's even better. There's a discount.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Keep American, it's fine, whatever.
Yeah.
We left. I was like, we had to go. They didn't have any food left, so we had to take off. So we, went to go grab some food. We ran into Dan.
We ran into Dan.
I was gonna say, are we gonna do a shout out
at the gas station at the food place?
At the what is it called?
Esso.
No. What's the donut / restaurant? Hortons. John
Hortons. Tim Hortons.
Tim Hortons.
Tim Hortons. So we're at Tim Hortons.
And then we look up and
there's all these festival goers that are covered in dirt.
Yeah.
They haven't slept in 4 days. You know, the townies seem pissed off. And we're sitting down having our breakfast sandwiches. And I look up and I see Dan and he's like, oh, you little
He's
whores.
like, you bitches.
He had flown in
from San Bernardino or something.
and then he played his set on Saturday at 4:00, and then he said he stayed up to close out the entire festival
till 7 a.m.
Didn't sleep, went to the gas station, was on his way to Vancouver
because he had to go to Long Beach
and he was
that
playing
Long Beach party.
The Long Beach Love Festival,
8,000 people,
and he played for 8,000 people that night.
You're an animal.
He's a wild man. He's a wild man.
Dan. DJ Dan, you're an animal. You've heard it.
There's no question about it. Shout out DJ Dan.
Yeah.
Always.
Here, I got a picture. I'm going to show a picture of the beach stage, which is when he was playing.
This is what he called us.
Here, check this out. This is a picture of the beach stage when he was playing.
Let's see it.
Oh, it was amazing.
Yeah.
Girl looks familiar right there. Like that.
And I think that's Kelly. I think that's Kelly dancing.
Hey, that's Allison. That's Allison.
Yeah. It's probably real soon after or before we took that picture with him. Yeah. Yeah.
That's the cup. It's the cup.
I got one more real quick one that I wanted to share. This was one of my favorites, and I want to share this because really it's an epic picture, number one. But also, let's see if I know who took the picture. I don't see who took the picture. It's not on the watermark, but I pulled it off of the Electric Love page. But yeah, this shot of the Crystal Method is pretty wicked. Yeah.
I saw the one with the shark fins.
Yeah. There was one with shark fins too. This just happened to be the one I grabbed, but that's.
Can we talk really quick, Wes, about that Crystal Method set? Like,
incredible.
Oh my God.
Amazing.
Yeah, he so into it.
It touched on everything.
Going hard.
And he's working like all four of those CDJs, like pretty heavy, And yeah, he goes off. Go watch. Yeah, if you love the Crystal Method, go to the Electric Love Music Festival, Facebook page. They've got some video footage of several of the big headliners on this stage.
I can't wait for all the professional photos to come out.
Amazing.
The drone videos.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that
my head during his set.
I was really stoked for him. That's Scott is the Crystal Method, as he let you all know at the thing there, and I got to do some remixes for them back a few years back, and they really I can never miss an opportunity if there's an opportunity to be had to compliment them, and everyone and anyone who was there already knows it, but just to share the vibe that they're spreading and the vibe that they're doing, after all these years around the world and continuing to improve and get better. And it's amazing, and I love that. And I loved having the opportunity to work with them. And it did so much for me, really putting, me on the map for sure in terms of recognition and just the ability to then meet other people. It's those kinds of sort of selfless introductions and bridges that really make it for people, and that's while I'm on that point, why I wanted to show this is part of what MyShell and Electric Love did for me was that kind of thing. ShYo has done that for me with Space Cowboys and her capacity to influence in several years back. And this is the last 3-4 years, these kinds of things happening to me. And then part of, the juice sessions and these things is me, to the extent that I can, trying to include and pay those kinds of things forward, whether it's to ShYo or Kelly or Brendan or whatever, Colin, those kinds of things. I just think it's really important. I don't get into it all the time on here, every podcast we have, but you guys are homies and friends and you understand this point of view and you see this as a fan, I think, as well as and as a festival goer, not a performer or DJ or producer or dancer or whatever, but as a festival goer, ticket buyer. And, to me, that's really important to make sure, it doesn't matter whether they're young or old or whatever. I don't really care. It's just exposure. People that work hard, whatever they're doing, and trying to help them to the extent you can. And looking around. To me, it's a very proactive thing, right? Like, you got to look around some and be like, oh, you know what? This person's hustling or that person's hustling. And sometimes, one last little point I want to share on this is like, sometimes you have to remember if you're the person that's a level up from whoever you're looking at, sometimes you got to remember that you need to reach out. Like it's not like working with a manager or an agent or some kind of jockeying negotiation. It's like it's more than that. It's reaching out to someone who is probably afraid to talk to you. It happens all the time. Like you get somebody who's maybe just a level or 2 levels down in terms of their career, or maybe 5 levels down, and they're literally petrified to say hello. And I just think it's important for somebody at any level, whether you're at level 2, 5, 10, whatever, to remember, hey, if you see someone a couple levels away from you, like, and you really like what they're doing, like, let the ego go and reach out. And that's what the Crystal Method did to me. That's what MyShell did with me. ShYo did that with me, on. And we're friends for life with those people. So
I love it. I agree with you, Wes. Like, you peel back the layers, like you said, of ego, of stature, of whatever it is, and when you boil it down, there's love and there's talent and there's just the capacity of effort and dedication, and those things speak for themselves. And I 100% agree. And that's what I think. Cameron and I, like, neither of us have ever been performers, but we've been around so long that we've been very fortunate to people like a DJ Dan, like, or Sasha's husband, Hyde. Like, we've been very fortunate
to know people that are
you and your group, like, at a high level. Yeah. And perhaps the reason that we're accepted into the group is because our love for the music and our love for the experience is genuine. And I appreciate that that's recognized. And that, we might not be part of the performing group, but we can still be as much part of the community. And I think it is, oh God, it's so cheesy. I'm so sorry, but it is. Like, it's all synergistic. It really is. It takes everyone to make it work.
To make that experience.
And
I gotta put on my shades. I'm gonna start crying.
I'm like, I can't talk about it too much, but it means a lot to me to be able to, I see him doing it, to be a part of it. I am so grateful. I really am. I'm so grateful.
Thank you very much. And I'm actually, hey, a lot of the 58 episodes, we've had maybe 3 episodes where it was, people we love and fans of music, like not industry, just to kind of classify it broadly. And I think it's fun to do that. I think it's an important thing. I'm glad you said it. And it's important for, producers, DJs, etc., to remember that, and at the end of the day, to me, man, if no one's buying tickets, there's no show, man. Right. So, like,
exactly. If you do, oh my gosh, Cameron.
Yeah.
If you don't, and that's, Wes, to me, that speaks truly to your character, because you recognize that it's the people who love the music that make it a possibility, where, and so I think I'm honored to be invited to your show. I really am.
Honestly.
We both are. What happened?
Oh, thank you. Thank you. And you have the best glasses of any participant ever on the Variety Show.
Thank you. Shout out to Walmart.
Yeah, shout out to Walmart.
$10
for rave gear. But no, thank you both. We're both really honored to have been invited to participate and to have been, again, like, thank you so much for having shared you were going to it. And I'm so glad, like I said, we stepped out of what was not that
I'm like, I like music. I don't like camping as much, but I like music and I like DJs. And if Wes says it's cool, then it's probably cool.
It's probably the most non-camper friendly festival in space ever.
Which is so funny because I had the best time ever. I think everything else outweighed my comfort level as far as like camping goes. Just the experience.
Good for you though.
The interaction with the people, the quality of the music, the quality of the production. And just everything just all came together for me. And so that's what keeps me coming back year after year after year. And I will continue to go and I will, I'll tell everybody.
I'll continue to sleep with spiders.
Yeah. And we'll continue to make the tent life more comfortable.
Hashtag tent life.
Tent life.
It's amazing if you have a nice little Airstream to chill out in if it's too blazing or prepping your music or whatever.
It was about the spiders.
Yeah, spiders.
Spiders.
Yeah, there were a lot of spiders. There were a lot. Yeah.
Spider here, spider there.
They're doing this thing.
Cow, bear. Hey, it's funny. The first year I was there was so few people. There was a bear that ran through the.
Oh my God.
He keeps talking about the damn bear.
There was a bear. No, there was. Like, it's not now. Like, I mean, there's too many people, and they have like other security and other things going on and stuff around there. But it was like that's how few people there were. There's like a bear that just sauntered through looking for some yummies and kept on going.
Looking for the festival.
He didn't bother anybody. He just walked through he didn't walk like through the party, like through the dance floor. It was just like through the parking lot or something like that. Yeah, it was pretty funny. Awesome. Well, hey, I have one more thing, non-Electric Love Music Festival to share. I want to share this real quick because I promised some people I would, but also because I want to share real quick. Let's call it an intermission. A couple episodes, we've got some people that are coming up. One is going to be, so my next big thing is Burning Man, and I'm leaving in a week because I go for early access. And the reason I go for early access is because, and I'm going to share a picture of this.
Because of that.
So that's an art project and art car in one. It's not completely assembled right there, as you can see, but it's a 747 airplane. Yes, you are not mistaken. The camp is Big Imagination, and so I go out there early to help them put this thing together on the playa at Black Rock City, and so I'll be out there early doing that. It does have wings. It's got wheels. It's got landing gear. All that jazz.
Wow.
What you can't see right now is roughly where the top set of windows is, right after the cockpit. That's all cut out now, and so that will be a nightclub, and so we're gonna have. There'll be full-on parties going, big sound system. It's going to be a lot of fun. It's a great camp as well. Really good people that run it. It's a big camp. There's no doubt, people can get lost, whatever. But aside from all that stuff, they handle it pretty well. A lot like Electric Love handles their growth. And it's going to be a lot of fun. You can go out on the wings. You can party in the cockpit. You can party in the cutout, like where those windows are. It's kind of like scalloped out like a sunroof now. And
that's going down this year?
And it's going to move. Yeah, it's out there now. It's actually there now on a ranch, assembled on a ranch right nearby. And it'll be as soon as they allow the early entry, which is very shortly, like in another 3 or 4 days, for massive projects like this, it'll be making its way from that ranch on over.
Please take lots and lots of photos and videos, Wes, please. We
want to go next year if possible. We have a camp we're invited to, so I kind of want to go at least once in my life.
So yeah, no doubt. And that's, and anybody listening, like hit Kelly's been, I've been, a lot of people have been, but, talking about us, we've been, and part of going there, is sharing with people that, what it really is in terms of, just what it takes to do it, whether that's money or tolerating camping or whatever, and making sure people have a good foot forward to go there. If you are interested, one of the best places to start is just the Burning Man website, and go read the whole thing like twice, right, Kelly? And then start asking questions and stuff of us. We'll be happy to answer it or point you to somebody we know that might be from your area. Kelly's been 3 times. I've been 5. So we've been enough to at least have a decent network of folks that have been and enjoy it. And you can circulate and learn things from everybody. And that's what that's all about. But I got to tell you, I am pretty psyched to be DJing on the 747 in the middle of a desert, because that's no joke right there.
Wait, wrong way.
Yeah. So that's my brief description about that little bit that's coming up next. I don't know, anything going on in real life, default world, Deans? Anything you want to share? Anything crazy happening?
Taco about it.
Kelly, I think congratulations. You have some good news in your real life. So just congratulations to you.
Yeah. Thank you.
Yeah.
I've got a show tomorrow too, so all the news. There's a show in Brooklyn tomorrow as well. Woo-hoo!
I wish I could like zip out and see it. You know what I mean? Just like
We'll see you tomorrow.
So no, for real though, Kelly, we're talking seriously about coming out to visit New York. I haven't been to New York since I was like 18.
Yes, come on, come to the boat.
100%.
Go to the boat.
No, we're gonna make it happen.
We'll have a show.
Both of you, well, we should do a show. You are both welcome anytime to Seattle. We have accommodations for you. We will take care of you. We love it.
And not just a tent.
Not just a tent. Yeah. So
and we have air conditioning.
Yep, we do.
Oh, tent, it's fun.
But you're family. Like, we really consider you family now, both of you.
Sweet. Oh my. If I keep looking at when y'all like I mistakenly I keep looking at pictures, and it's like there are so many great pictures from this thing, and I keep getting like, I'm just like, oh man, look at that one. Look at that one. I have one more I absolutely have to show, and there's a little story to it, which is why I'm going to show it. I gave a shout out to a lot of people. I might have said her name. I might not have, but I'm going to show it now. This is the octopus stage.
Yes.
And really cool, so people get an idea. And what I didn't take a picture of is the band shell that's directly in front of it. That octopus is basically sitting on top of the sound people, and then there's like a conical inflated thing on the other side where the performers were. Some of the coolest and fun stuff we saw was there. And I wanted to shout out because Summer Nukina, who is the founder of the festival's daughter, she is very into live music and electronic music, and she, I think, personally kind of got this thing, the vision behind the octopus stage and having the live music and the things that were going on there. And I know it was very special to her in terms of like carrying on, a lot of her mom's wishes and these kinds of things as well. And so she made a post about it today, or that was public, or so I'm just kind of repeating what she already posted. But go find her, Summer. You can find her on the Electric Love Music Festival page. Super awesome person as well. She was there, and I hung out with her a little bit. And anyway, just wanted to show that picture and give her a little shout out there. And if people want to go check that out more, you can hit the Electric Love site there. Cool.
Yeah, I'm super stoked to see the professional photos come out. One of our friends from here from Seattle, Allie, right, was there.
Oh yeah, we had a homie from that she is at all the drum and bass events here, big and small, and she is a professional photographer. So shout out to her. And so she was there, and I saw her on Thursday. And I said, "What are you doing here?" And she's like, "Oh, I'm here on a media pass, and I thought I wouldn't see anybody here that I knew." And I was like, "That's because there's nobody here from Washington except for us." So it just goes to show you that as big as that festival feels when you're there, there are no people from the States there. With the exception of artists and a few randoms.
Like us.
And I kind of like that. I kind of like being able to go to Canada and meet new people and not be like, oh, I hope I see this guy from Seattle. But yeah, so she was there, and she took a lot of incredible photos. She lost her car keys on the last day. I picked them up once on Saturday night.
Oh, that's right, on the floor. Ray Keith on the floor.
Ray Keith. She was leaving Ray Keith, and
I'm like, there's keys right there.
Keys. But she lost them. She lost them again, I guess, on Saturday night, and so
Somebody needs a lanyard.
trying to sort out her life. So
who's got the lanyards?
Who's the lanyard?
I got a lanyard.
Tag you guys in her photos.
There's a lanyard. I'm showing a lanyard.
This is what a lanyard is.
There's a lanyard. There's what one is. That's the logo for Electric Love. You get the idea. It's our Electric Love tribute show. They have my shell on the back of all of them. Super cool.
Today on social media or Facebook a little bit, we are some of very few Americans, and to be honest, I don't know. Clearly, because you're there, people know that you're awesome. Every person I talked to was like, "Oh, where you're from?" And we'd say Seattle. They're like, "Oh, that's amazing."
Yeah. Back New York. I said New York.
No, that's what I'm saying.
Even San Diego, they're like, "What? What are you doing here?"
Oh,
"Oh, we're
yeah,
on the
New
beach."
York, they're like, "Oh, that's amazing. You must be rad to have found this place as an American. Like, you must be extra cool." Well, not even that, but just that like, because they know what our country is going through, and
It's all my shell. It's all my shell, man. That's how we found it all.
And it's just a beautiful feeling to know that, like, hey, we can show up to different countries and remind people, not that they all need reminding, but they might, that, hey, there's tons of good people here that
Or not.
They're like, or not. They're like, or not. Eat some poutine.
I know.
Yeah.
I know.
Get some smoked meat poutine. You'll be fine.
They were
Hey,
like,
hey, if nothing else, if you've never been out of the country, speaking this country, U.S., like, hey, leave it, check it out. Go see some cows. Go see some cows and blueberries. Don't be scared. It's a good
There was
time.
a lot of I noticed this year a lot of the volunteers when we came into the festival last Thursday that were assisting with ticketing, parking.
Marketing.
That they had accents from other countries.
oh, there's Australian.
A lot of Australians, a lot of South Africans, a lot of British. There was that British guy that we met that he cut his toe or whatever, but that was the first festival he'd ever been to.
Yeah.
And he's like, yeah, I just came because somebody told me about it. I'm like, someone told you about a festival in Canada in a fishing village, and you just decided to go by yourself? Like, that's amazing.
Yeah, that's what's
Oh
up.
yeah.
Oh yeah.
Cool. Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
Awesome. Well, hey, and if there's any Canadian folks listening and you've never been down to Southern California or Seattle, come on down.
Come visit.
Come
Come
down.
visit.
We
And
will.
I'm here a lot of the year. Hit
Yeah.
me up, and we'll find you a great fish taco.
Yum.
No poutine here. Sorry.
I know.
We don't have any poutine, but I'll do my best to make you some curry. I'm pretty good at that. Indian curry.
For
Watch out.
tacos.
Watch out, I get my chef skills out.
For tacos.
Well, cool, everybody.
Well,
we-
Fun.
I know. I almost don't want to end the call because I miss you guys, and this is really like
That's decompression right there. That's decompression right there. You're like, what do you do? What do you do? It's like you find yourself on the street and you're just giving peace signs to people and hugging them, and they look at you like, what are you doing, dude?
Crazy.
You weirdo! It's a street light. It's a crosswalk.
My cat's like, yeah, I get it.
Hey, man, it doesn't hurt anybody, but don't be creepy. All right.
Don't make it weird. Don't make it weird.
Don't make it weird, man.
We're just making weird. I mean, why
Well,
you
cool.
for having
I'm
it.
going to go. Speaking
Kelly,
of,
it's 12:30 for you. It's like 1 o'clock there for you now.
not? It's like 137
Hey.
or something like that. Yeah, I know.
1:37. Holy shit.
shout out, quick re-shout out to Summer if she's still in here, but she had popped in after we were talking about the octopus stage. But anyway, she said she'll watch it again later. A little clip.
That was so cool.
Once it gets posted to YouTube, but even Facebook, I think. But once it gets posted to YouTube, which we do as well, then you can pinpoint the timeline and send the URL to the timeline spot. That's sweet.
cool.
That's a sweet feature now.
That's a new thing.
I don't know if that's been there forever or not, but it's definitely more obvious now.
It's new to you.
Yeah, right. So cool. I'm gonna go. Speaking of juice people, Colin, some of the squad, they've all been on here before. They are playing. If your locals listening to this, they are playing over at Avenue in PB. The Switching Lanes crew doing that party. They've been doing that thing, every Thursday now for maybe on a year or something like that. House music and tech house techno, some bassy stuff. Good little party. We don't get a lot of that on the beach side where I live. We get all the stuff downtown, as you know. But for anyone listening, that aren't from here, it's pretty cool. So shout out to those people. And Evlo's playing tonight. So I'm gonna bug out. Yeah, y'all know him. So Evlo and Colin. Yeah. So I'm gonna bug out of here and go. I'm gonna bug out of here. Go pin some buttons on some people and support the other Juice homies as soon as Kelly says her piece.
Yeah, let me do a plug. Okay, so on Saturday we're doing Energize in Brooklyn at the Keep, or not, I'm sorry, not the Keep, at the Deep End. And previous Variety ShYo guest Wave Horror is playing. I'm playing. We've got a bunch of jungle, drum and bass, house, breaks, techno. It's 2 rooms. So, and the headliner is to be announced 24 hours before the event. And I'm just going to give you a hint, but he was camping right down from us.
I know who it is.
Can't tell you who it is, but I'm telling you.
Not gonna say.
It's gonna be good. So.
Awesome. Well, thank you guys. We are
Thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you. We're honored to have been asked.
Love you.
Hey, it was wonderful sharing the weekend.
What, 6 months in the making?
This is better though.
Yeah.
We didn't try to do this. We've been trying to do this since West Coast Weekender. We've tried to do this like 4 or 5 times.
This is the best.
Totally.
Yeah.
So this was streaming for anybody. Well, for people who will see this later, and a lot of people just listen to it. But anyway, they this is streamed on Facebook Live, and then just so y'all know, and anybody listening, it later goes to YouTube, the full video. Then we put the audio on SoundCloud, and then it also goes out through it also goes out through the podcast for Apple Podcasts. And we're working on Google Play, and we're working on Spotify for that as well, who's now opened up the podcast. And since I'm a verified artist on Spotify through my music, we're going to see if we can get the podcast on there as well, which would be really cool.
That would be so much fun. And next time, Kelly, I'll actually give you a haircut.
Yeah.
So if you weren't on the internet before, you're on it now. Awesome, y'all. Stay classy, yo.
Thank you so much.
We'll
Love
see
you guys.
soon. Bye, everybody. Thanks for tuning in now or later. Bye-bye. 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 It always takes me a while to stop it.